You guys, welcome to another episode of What's Your Issue? My name is Troy McEady.
And I'm Judy's.
She fed a squirrel in her bed and mustard in her bed. Rolled it in the dirt and then ate it. Is that bad?
No, I'm Dara Laine, if you nasty. Hi. Hi, Troy.
How are you?
I'm good. Just knee deep in Christina Aguilera. Not a bad place to be.
I mean, not to give it away too soon or whatever, but you guys are in for a real treat today. You're in for a real it's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it really is. Troy, how are you?
I'm good. My day and my life right now feel very uneventful. Nothing crazy.
Your day and your life feel uneventful. Okay.
I have nothing exciting to report. I had my first, what I believe is my first actual real Margot vibes anxiety attack the other day, and I texted Dara about. I had a real anxiety attack.
And you've never experienced that before?
I thought I had, but no, I hadn't.
But no. It's so funny, actually. I was telling Nate about it, and he was so fixated on the fact that you were watching a movie when it happened. He's like, well, what movie was he watching? So he was really that affected by it, the movie? Wow. I was like, why are you so... I was like, it's not about the movie. He's like, but I mean... I was like, okay. I don't know if the movie caused it. I don't think so.
From a neurodivergent to another, I appreciate him for that. I get that. To be honest with you, I haven't had that. So I for those listening, I went to see an early screening of Obsession because they're doing screenings of it in select theaters, and it was literally the most scary theater experience I have had in a long time. I'm not a jump out of my seat during the jump scares kind of girl. I just watch too much horror.
I am.
I want to be I want to have that, but I'm just too numb at this point. I watch it too often, and that had me. My skeleton was leaving my body for a couple seconds and then going back in. It was really scary.
Oh my God. So it really was maybe the movie a little bit.
Nate might be right. I don't know.
I guess so. Wow. Yeah. And I was yelling at him. I was like, stop. It's not the point. It's not the movie. He's like, well, but... I was like, why are you arguing with me about this?
If that's not an endorsement for a movie, it sent me to the emergency room or something.
That's a great pull quote.
Yeah.
That's they would love to hear that. The marketing team would love to hear that.
From my mouth to their ear.
But yeah, I'm ready to have a panic attack of my own because I'm getting real scared, Troy, that Mr. Spencer Pratt is going to be our Los Angeles mayor. I'm getting nervous.
From the outside, it's really crazy to watch. It's a really interesting thing to see this happening.
Well, and I think the reason why it could end up happening, and so we all have to mobilize, is, it was a joke at first. I feel like maybe it's I'd have to think back a decade, but maybe a little bit similar to Trump, where it's a joke, and then suddenly it's not, and people, and there's this swell towards legitimizing him that, but because everyone's just thinking it's a joke, no one's being vigilant against it until it's really far progressed. And I saw this reel from have you ever seen the show Adam Ruins Everything?
Mm-hmm.
So he did a reel about Spencer and how this is becoming a possibility and we have to stay vigilant. And he was talking about how Karen Bass, our current mayor, she's kind of been pushing him as what she hopes to be the second candidate, even though he's like he's a MAGA Republican. Like he's anti-vax. He wants to bring ICE into LA. But she's pushing him because the other candidate is a progressive. And, she doesn't want what happened in New York City to happen to her. So she's saying that he's actually like a legitimate candidate. And on top of it, he is really appealing to, I think, the very wealthy, especially the ones who maybe lost their homes in the Palisades, because that happened to him and his family, and he's really driving that part home. It feels like a personal attack against millennial pop culture enthusiasts like myself. It
Well,
feels
there's
like
no better time for him to manipulate people because people are their dumbest right now. And it's like the perfect time to rewrite history. So he did his little press tour of like, sort of rewriting his time on television. And like, it's like now everybody is like he was always this genius producer. Like, it's the perfect time to do like the Trump thing and be like, let me lift up this rock and see all the people under it that are like ignored and just like trick them into thinking that I care
yeah.
about them. And then he did the groundwork with the fires. Like he's like, he like he played the long game with the fires and like being out and talking about it.
And fucking Jonathan Cheban, he is out. There was an article out today where he's like, I'd love to be able to vote for Spencer. Like, shut the fuck up, you fucking prick ass.
Dara sat next to Jonathan Cheban when we went to Ashley Simpson. She was sitting next to Jonathan Cheban, and I was like, "This is like the ultimate irony." Like sitting because our seats were like behind. I was behind you. Like, if you've never been to the Ashley Simpson residency, it's like the room is set up like a bunch of little cocktail tables. So Dara was sitting in front of me, like next to Jessica and Jonathan Cheban, and just watching you two be next to each other behind it was so surreal. Like watching him not know a single Ashley Simpson song, like not even the hits.
No, why are you here, sir? Nobody.
What are you doing here?
Just like with Spencer, nobody asked you, what are you doing here? Get out of my face.
Like there's no crispy rice here to review. So what the fuck are you doing in here?
But yeah, the whole thinking of, well, Spencer was like a genius reality show producer. It's not that hard to self-produce well. And number two, this man practically bankrupted himself from buying expensive, dumb crystals. Imagine what he would do with a city budget. Okay?
It would be all of LA would just be a giant hummingbird feeder.
Literally. The Palisades would be built back up in a week, and there would be nobody left over. And whatever's left is going to hummingbirds and crystals.
1000%. And crystals and like Taylor Swift and coffee.
Yeah.
And like espressos.
Oh, God. And then, oh my God, I just had a horrifying realization. He would also be mayor for the Olympics.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
The city will collapse.
No, literally. It would be the ultimate. It's like that is AI writing a script. Like, what if Spencer becomes the leader of like LA, where he once reigned like the clubs, and now he's your mayor?
I need people like, I know she's not much of a Los Angeles resident, but I need the people like Mary-Kate Olsen speaking out against him. I love that his sister did, and she did it early. Unfortunately, she did not move the needle on that one. But I need some heavy hitters who have been wronged by Spencer Pratt to get out there and start talking.
Lauren, It's the one time that
Lord,
I'm going to say I
Lauren, this
need
is
you.
your time.
We need
Lauren,
you. Put
Lauren,
on your
please.
headband and get out there, girl. Put that gray tank top on, tug it down, and get out there.
Oh, it's really tough. So if you're a Los Angeles voter, we have we got our ballots. And please don't just toss them out, kids. Please open it up. Go down to Mayor and select Nithya Raman and be sure to mail it in because we are going to be so fucked, you guys. This is a 3-alarm fire. Okay.
Yeah, speaking of
All hands
fires,
on deck. All hands on deck.
I
Ugh.
can't believe it's real. Oh my God. Oh God. I feel it really is like every day is just like a millennial torture. It's like a
Yeah.
millennial twist of the knife. Like the knife has been in for years, and every couple days it's just like a twist, 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 twist,
Twist,
twist.
twist, 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 twist. Yeah, it's
It's
because there's so many people who, with Trump, I feel the general public maybe didn't really realize what kind of, character they were dealing with. And Spencer is even worse. Like, there's an even smaller group of people who are aware of the hills and like what he was doing over there and what he did after, how fucking stupid he is. Like, I just feel like if you went around to the Palisades and talked to all of the elderly Republican men who were like, he'd make a great mayor, just send him some articles about how he lost all of his money to crystals. And maybe that would make them think twice.
well, they weren't following the Snapchat years. They weren't there
No,
during the
they
Snapchat
weren't
years.
there.
We were in the trenches.
And they're going to tell us, millennials, what do you know with your avocado toast and your reality TV? He's fine. Oh, I thought you liked reality TV and crystals. Let him be mayor. No, sir, you don't understand.
If he was from the Real Housewives, y'all would love it. If it was Nene Leakes, y'all'd love it. True.
Sure. Yes.
Not wrong.
I would accept that particular person with no political background to become my mayor. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd take Joey Gorgo over him. Sure.
I'm not perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is what's in front of us right now. So we must deal with that.
Yeah. Good Lord have mercy. Well, let's disassociate. Shall we?
Yeah. Let's rock the vote, you guys.
Rock the vote. Everybody get out your old Rock the Vote shirts.
Well, Troy, I've got a question for you, my guy. And I want a straight answer from you finally.
Okay.
I know you're gay, but this time, give it to me straight.
Yes. Yes, Billy, yes.
Troy, what's your issue?
Whew. Okay, deep breath. Breathe. Okay. We have 3 issues today, which is sounds insane, but just know that we have it under control and we're all going to be okay. We're going to take you by your fingers and lead you through
to the bedroom for a little menage a trois.
Yes. Well, first to McDonald's to the drive-through for our nuggets and hot mustard. You'll understand that in a minute. Yeah. So we're talking about Christina Aguilera today through the eyes of Rolling Stone. So we're going to be doing her 1999 Rolling Stone by Anthony, is it Baza?
Yeah.
Her next Rolling Stone was from the year 2000, from Neil Strauss. And then the third issue is from 2002, Dirty era. And that interview was from Chris Heath. First of all, you know what? I love a music profile. I think music profiles are hands down my favorite articles to read for this show. And I don't know why. I don't know if you could say this for like so specifically for many other pop stars, but Rolling Stone was there like damn near every year for Christina Aguilera's career during her fighting years, to like document where she was each year. Like these music profiles were coming out back to back to back about Christina through Rolling Stone, and it's so interesting.
the evolution is crazy. Like, we've done some like double profiles, like we did Justin Bieber, and granted that was many years between. And we did that with Lana Del Rey, and that was also many years between. It's so interesting to do a back to back to back 1 year and then 2 years to see the evolution and how quickly it changed. Like you
Oh,
could really
it's
feel the change.
well, they are there. This is the other thing. They are in Christina's orbit at really pivotal moments, like
Mhm.
very specific, extremely specific. Like the 2002 one, it's like Dirty had just come out. She was literally shooting the cover for the album while the interviewer was there. He was watching. And then the 1999 one, Genie in a Bottle, was a new song. And she was like an 18-year-old princess, like pop star, like, about to take over the world. And then the 2001 is only a year into her being famous. So it's really like to document these really specific moments and like the change from nice the change when they get to 2002, it's like fucking insane. Like it's really like a different person.
It's also interesting because I think this is so a part of their marketing strategy for her. Because
Mhm.
if you notice in the first article, they talk about how we want to build the fan base with like the first layer of people, which is the youth, the people that will create the sort of rabid fan base.
Mhm.
And then from there, like we want to start with pop music, like teeny bopper pop music that, and they admit isn't even showing her full vocal ability and musicality and what she's capable of. And then as time goes on, those songs will start to be released in subsequent hits and albums. And it feels like the yearly sort of profile thing was maybe a part of that marketing of seeing how she grows throughout. Like in the second article, she has a crush on one of her dancers. And then 2 years later, she's in she's just over the breakup with this dancer. So it's really interesting to just pinpoint track certain things.
I think that you're onto something because all the articles are written like in as like a continuation of the last article. They
Mm-hmm.
literally, it feels like you could put these together and it would be like a short like novel or something.
Yeah.
Like down to in the 1991, I'm sorry, 1999 article, they talk about how she like loves Houston's. It's her favorite restaurant in
Yeah.
LA. And I used to read this article a lot when I was younger. I don't know why. I just really loved this Rolling Stone where she's holding the CD player. And I knew what Houston's was because of this article. And
Have
then
you
in
ever
the next
been?
No, I've never gone. We should Is it still open?
Oh, yeah, and it's fucking good. I
Oh, we should
love Houston's.
go.
Oh, yeah, it's in Pasadena. We should go.
And she still consistently goes all the time. Like she takes her kids there and stuff all the time.
Yeah, and they mention it again in the second article that she
Yeah.
went 2 days in a row before she left LA because she loves it so
Yeah.
much.
They're like, to know her is to know she loves Houston. It's like she always takes the Rolling Stone writer to Houston's so that he can watch her terrorize staff and be like cruel to young girls.
My God.
I mean, I guess we should get into it, I guess. Let's start with 1999. Tell me, was this your first time reading this?
Yeah, so actually, I really did not have a strong memory of any of these articles. I think that I had read the 2002 one, but I still didn't fully remember it, and so they were really, really interesting to read. What do you think of of the first article?
I just think that, I guess, kind of like piggybacking off what I said earlier, like the timing of it, I there's something so unique and special to me about them
Mhm.
capturing her as an 18-year-old like pop like princess pop star. Like fame is so new to her, but I think what they capture about her that is so Christina and like just so like they capture her at her core and
Mhm.
like who she really is and like who she kind of continues to be throughout her career, like no matter how much she changes, it's like she has this dire need to like stand out, to be unique, to be different, to be, taken seriously, to buck the system, to fight authority, to fight the patriarchy. Like even as an 18-year-old girl, like she's still Christina, you know?
And that I do love that. It's interesting because reading the first and second articles, I was so endeared to her in a way that like I
Yeah.
haven't been in a very long time, like
Yeah.
probably since she first popped up on the scene all those years ago. And then you get to the third one, and you're like, oh God. Okay, well,
Yeah, the third one is where you're like, oh God, like this is like a
there she
21
is.
year old, you know. But
Ooh.
and they say like, her maturity is like really shocking to the adults around her. Like, she has this old soul and she loves blues music. And I mean, if you know Christina's story, you know that she like grew up wanting to sing like soul music and like jazz and stuff like that. So they even say like, when she sings and these interviews and stuff, and like when she talks to people, like sometimes you kind of forget that she is like 18. Um, but I love there's in the opening of the article, they say, obviously they ask her about like, the comparisons. She's in the pop machine. And she always, even when she was in the machine, when she was her most
Yeah.
like commercial, she was very like open about not wanting to be in it. Like she made it pretty clear at the very beginning that she would eventually, very soon, try to not be in the space she's in. She doesn't respect
Mhm.
it. She makes fun of everybody in it. She treats it like something she's kind of doing as like a stepping stone to do what she actually wants to do.
Do you think that she ever had to do this sort of stepping stone situation of what her people said, starting with the teeny bopper music and not even showing her full vocal range at the outset? Do you think that career-wise, it would have behooved her to just, like, go out on the first try, like, doing the music that she wanted to do? Or do you think, like, this worked for her?
So I think that my theory about this is that I think she got screwed by timing. I think
Mhm.
that because if you think about it, it's like her first song was actually like that Mulan ballad,
Yeah, which is crazy.
which is like really wild to think. And then they just kind of tried to rewrite history and say that Genie in a Bottle was her first song. And I feel like the only reason they did that is because Britney signed her Jive contract and like kind of set the
Oh.
tone. But I do think that had that not happened, Christina would have just been a VH1 artist. I think she would have been adult contemporary Faith, Faith Hill, Leanne Rhymes.
I
You
think that
know,
would have been good for her.
I think so too.
I think she would have kind of had more career longevity. I mean, granted, in the grand scheme, like, she's still out there working, but she's not making like for for the person of all these people to love music so much and for it to be truly like singing is her passion.
Hmm.
She hasn't put out a ton of music comparatively.
Yeah,
Um and I wonder if if she had just been, you know, like a Whitney Houston type where
yeah,
it's just like your classic, your staple, adults love you and they're gonna shell out to come see your concert, every couple
yeah.
of years. I wonder if that would have been like a more fulfilling career path for her.
Well, I think she at least would have not had to do everything in spite of her past. Like,
Yeah.
it's like everything she did, every move she made, everything she wore, every song she chose, I mean, everything was like in spite of this couple years. And it's
Yeah.
crazy. It was only 2 years and it
It's
had
weird
that
how
much
time works,
impact. I know.
especially in
Um,
music. Like, you think about the Beatles, you think about the Spice Girls,
oh my
and
God.
it's you can't believe that it's just like how a small period of time can make such a huge impact, either negatively or positively.
I also just have to mention that I will read the quote eventually because they do in the second article talk about this, but like she like uses Rolling Stone to like date.
I
Like
love it.
she uses the magazine to like get men. Like she puts her feelers out there, and then like by the time that they come back and interview her, she's had this like
Yes.
whirlwind with these guys that she talks about. Uh
Yeah. That is girl boss behavior.
it's
Like,
amazing. And
who
she
needs
like
the apps, baby?
she's like, I ain't no virgin. uh, they say right now she's getting sleepy, seemingly overwhelmed by her chow. Um, she just had McDonald's, but that won't keep her
But
from
her
talk.
favorite is Wendy's, which I will say, as a Wendy's girl, my favorite is also Wendy's. So I'm
She
so
likes
sorry to interrupt
no, no, no.
for
It's
that
she
aside.
loves a Dave's double, and I love that for her. Uh, she said, but that won't keep her from talking about double standards. Brittany and I show a little tummy, and it's like, oh my god, she huffs. We've both been called bad influences by some critics, but NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys would get on stage, and I love those guys to death, but they'll do repeated pelvic thrusts to an audience of prepubescent girls, and no one says anything. Christina Aguilera looks out the window and seems very far away. I think that I'm eccentric. She's 18, by the way. She says suddenly, I'm a really deep thinker. It's weird. Sometimes I'll have daydreams and just float. I'm just floating and changing my body into all these different shapes like a cloud, but more beautiful, and flying around the world like an angel, hovering and watching people. Sometimes I'm singing in my daydreams. When I have a hard day, I explore me and this whole imaginary side of my brain. Aguilera wants to be many things, but a pop girl isn't one of them. She wants an edge. I always want to shock people throughout my career, she says, like Madonna. Maybe that's why she has crushes on rock stars. I had a long-running crush on Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray, but that's over, she says flatly. He's totally cute, but his whole presence is arrogance. Plus, I'm not digging the way he looks right now. Fred Durst is cute, but he doesn't make the crush list. Now, Eminem, he's my new crush. And I usually don't go for the blondes. But for the moment, she has taken this concept past the idea stage. All I have are my fantasies right now because I don't have any free time, but I do want to date a performer. It's important to me that I date someone that understands my schedule. Coming out of high school, I had these guys who just didn't get it. There were a few who tried back home, but Aguilera is single. That's an 18. I just want to remind everybody that that's an 18-year-old girl who hasn't even been famous for a year.
I honestly, you have to be impressed.
Are you kidding?
You simply must. It is, I guess, okay, one thing that I will say that I find really interesting within this article and then also the second one, she had this really traumatic upbringing with
Yeah.
domestic violence. And it you can see they really get into it in the second article of like how that shaped her. And obviously, an exceptionally mature person often grew up with abuse, not even horrific abuse, but just situations where they were forced to become more adult more quickly. Um,
And
but
like
it's just,
too aware
yeah,
of people of the world. It's like you should be a little bit more naive at 18.
yeah. And you shouldn't be so hyper vigilant where you're seeing everything at all times.
Yeah.
You look at that, you go, okay, well, yeah, that comes from trauma. But then you think of Britney, and she had similar trauma in her upbringing. The way it sort of manifested in her personality feels so different. Like it didn't
Yeah.
make her like this sort of really mature, like, everybody
Hmm.
take me seriously.
Right. Yeah. It had the opposite. It had the more like you get kind of stuck in a certain time period. Like Brittany felt
Yeah.
more shell shocked by her trauma, whereas Christina
Yeah.
felt like it really created this like fiery, you'll never stop me. I'll never, suffer a fool kind of thing. But I think it also has something to do with the fact that even though, Christina did have to go through the pop machine or whatever, she kind of refused to Like she wasn't gonna do that virgin shit. She wasn't gonna act like she had never experimented with like substances. She was like unwilling to not live some version of her truth. And like even with her story, like she was so honest about the abuse and what,
Yeah.
her mom went through and stuff. And Brittany had to lie. She had to make it like Brittany had to make it more like perfectly tied up in a bow, like more presentable. And like they
Yeah.
wanted to push like she's like the Southern values or whatever. And it's like they wanted it to make it they wanted Brittany to be Steel Magnolias when in reality it's like her dad was out like shooting squirrels and shit because they had no money to eat. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't, oh mama. It was, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't that, but they wanted it to be that.
Well, and I never thought about this before, but of course there's a lot of different things that could go into what made Christina that sort of like, I'm just going to be who I want to be, and I can be honest, and I can say things that other people like Brittany wouldn't really get away with. And I wonder if part of that is because she just her entire life knew that she had this just otherworldly talent that, of course, Brittany is also outrageously talented, but in such a different way that's
Totally.
much less quantifiable. Whereas Christina's is just, you don't have to know about music to know that this is an otherworldly talent. And just knowing that, like, I have this, so I can get away with a lot more.
I 100% agree with that. And I think that Christina's talent being so neutralized in one thing, whereas
Yeah.
Britney's was just like, she's a dancer, she sings, she taps, she does pageants. It's like whatever Britney fell into is what would have been the thing, whatever made the family money. Whereas Christina
Yeah.
was like performing as like an 8-year-old girl doing one thing her entire life, and it was like a god-given thing not learned. And she was like making adults uncomfortable with her talent from as early as she can remember, whereas Britney was just like she was always a spitfire.
She's also good at gymnastics. She's going to be in the Olympics.
Like Christina's talent felt more like prodigy, child prodigy. I want to ask you, I have to read this quote, but first I want to ask you your experience of reading it for the first time. When she takes Mr. Anthony to TRL. Dara, could you have died? Could you were you just like lost in your childhood reading this?
Yes. I feel like I just could see all of it in my mind's eye. I don't even just Carson Daly being like, I was throwing rocks at cars when I was 18. Like, for some reason, that is a quote. Now that we're talking it out, I must have read this article because that quote has always been lodged in my brain. I don't know why.
He's so stupid.
But the screaming at TRL, how I love the part where they're talking about how like one person is just screaming, runs out of breath, and just starts screaming full blast again. And Christina clearly hates it so much.
Yeah, she's like she like hates her fans. She like, okay, so to set the mood, she takes Anthony, the writer, to TRL, and she's like, she's a very new, everybody that becomes like a pillar of TRL is like new to TRL at this particular moment. So she's seen, she's seen NSYNC on there, she's seen the Backstreet Boys on there, she's seen Britney on there, but like nobody has become like the queen or the king of TRL yet. It's a new space, but it's at the height of it's becoming pandemonium, the screaming, the people standing outside with the signs and stuff. So it says, the shrieks shred the air like taut wires snapping, while MTV production assistants and headsets stir up more hysteria. Keep the energy up until Until all the way to the commercial, they tell the frantic tykes. It seems an unnecessary order at TRL, particularly when Christina Aguilera joins host Carson Daly on set. As a few audience members approach spontaneous combustion, Daly must gently admonish them. I couldn't get them to shut up if I tried today, he says later. It was impossible. The youngest in the audience, who looked to be about 11 or 12, simply yell mouths wide open. They look at each other after they run out of air, then turn towards Christina, begin yelling again. Some of the older members aren't content just to scream. You're Latina! You're hotter than Britney Spears! Let me tell you! A girl in the front row shouts. Aw, you're so funny, Aguilera says. You guys are cute. And you're natural, a fan belts. Aguilera's here to perform. Like, we were so evil and weird as, like, what a weird thing for, like, a 12-year-old to say. Like, what the fuck?
Well, you know what? That comes from their parents.
Totally. Your boobs are natural. Like, you're 11. Get the fuck out of my bra, honey. And you're natural, the fan belts. Aguilera's here to perform 2 songs, Genie in a Bottle, of course, and So Emotional, a ballad likely to be the album's 3rd single. I wish. It's a number that allows Aguilera to do a bit of scatting.
Oh.
That little beep boop. She can really sing, Daly says. Her range is amazing. She can do gospel and R&B if she wants to, and she can really perform. The hook in most teen pop is in the dancing and in the imaging, while the voices are usually only good to fair. But she's really talented. Dude, when I was like 18, I was throwing rocks at buses, so maybe I'm easily impressed, but I think she's got a long career ahead of her. You're natural. You're so pretty. You're Latina. She's like, aw.
I just love picturing her like eyes crossed, like, aw, you're cute.
Yeah. she's like, I cannot fucking wait to get out of this fucking space. Like, by next year, if I'm not done with this shit, I'm quitting. It's so funny.
But I love that about her, to come from that sort of graduating class, and to just be so disenchanted by it at the outset. Like, you know, like, it doesn't even really appeal to her narcissism or anything. She's just like, ugh, stop.
Yeah.
Stop yelling.
You
guys are annoying. It. Yeah. Which
she always was able to.
I've always liked her outlook on that sort of, like, I don't know. There's something just very pragmatic and like no bullshit that I always enjoyed about her.
Yeah. It's like, she's not pretending to be, even though she's being forced into this like situation that she doesn't want to be in, she refuses to not be as much herself as she can.
Yeah, and even when she's being a shithead, I still have such a soft spot for her in what I feel is probably similar to why I have such a soft spot for Lindsay Hubbard day one, because it's, even when she's wrong, she's still herself. And she's always herself, and there's something very comforting about that. There's something very, I don't know, I just respect it in a person, that people can be, you know, just themselves, for better, for worse.
For better and for worse. No, I agree with that. And I love difficult women, famously. I love women who like kind of refuse to be like easily digestible. Like Christina just like, sometimes she's just not in the mood to be easily digested. And I like that. I think that's cool, especially when, you know, being like a young girl, like she's so young and she's so self-assured.
We love you, Christina.
You're Latina. Now are you ready to move on to the next one?
Yes. This one's actually my favorite article of the 3.
I figured that this would be, I knew that you were going to really take to this one in particular.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah.
I like to be seen. Why did you think that?
Well, I just think that this one is a little bit like, the first one is like fun for the nostalgia, and it's just like, wow, like an 18-year-old talking to adults like that. That's crazy. But this one, she's been famous. It's the year 2000. She's now been famous a full year. she's like in it. She's really in
Mhm.
it. She has brand recognition. She's got a logo, she's got like she's really a pop star now.
Yeah.
And she's just like she talks about how she was always meant to be famous. Like she knows that she was always meant to be like of note. And it's like, yeah. Like the way she treats it gives me Ariana Grande kinda.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that.
It gives me young Arianka where I'm like, it's like this girl knows that she's special and like she doesn't feel like she has to like prove anything really. And like she's
Yeah.
a little bit of an asshole, but it's like deserved because she's so gifted.
Yeah. Well, let's first just talk about the writer for this
Yeah.
article, Neil Strauss,
Yeah.
because when I first started reading the article, the way I entered into it was this is Neil Strauss, the writer of, if you guys remember this, The Game, which is what like pickup culture is based off of. He is the guy who thought of negging women to pick them up. Just like a truly terrible blight in our American history, The Game and pickup artists.
Oh,
Um
pickup artist. No,
oh God,
God.
I miss that reality show with mystery.
That was on VH1, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
that was a good one, baby. But so I'm entering into this with that context, and I just imagine that it's going to have like a very condescending vibe to it.
Yeah.
But I was very surprised at how understanding and nuanced his take was on her. I don't know, like I couldn't believe the same guy who could think like that could also handle a teen pop star during this time in such a way. Which I also thought when I read his at first I was like, well, but Christina is this otherworldly talent. So she had like a different level of respect from people. But so that I looked up his Britney Spears article because I hadn't read that before. And I was like, oh, he actually handles that one similarly. Um, and Britney was not someone who would be so respected by someone like him. I don't know. It gave like a really interesting view into her inner world. And
Yeah,
it was
these are
very
all
kooky.
they're all day in the life articles. They're all like just like plop like the writer being plopped down and like per day and like from morning to night and like what she does and just like experiencing her life and those are my favorite. But she's not intimidated by him. You can tell that she's not
Yeah.
intimidated by him at all to the point that um in the opening of the article they go through the McDonald's drive-through and she orders nuggets and she's like that's what she says that she like loves McDonald's and she like or she loves Wendy's, but McDonald's will do. She's like, I
In a
love fast
pinch. You
food.
know, in a pinch.
She's like, she says like they basically she orders nuggets, they forget her hot mustard, and she goes, this is the 50th time they've done this. Like she's just like been eating McDonald's like all week and they keep forgetting her sauce. And at one point the limo drives off and she spills her Diet Coke or whatever and it like goes all over the ground and she just like kind of looks over at him for him to like take care of it. Like she's just like, I'm not touching that.
I love it.
And then she's like, and then when they leave, she's like, can you go to the window and get my hot mustard? She like sends him to go get the sauce. Like, I'm obsessed.
Also, and of course, like this is not her father or her husband, but far be it for me to to judge a woman for making herself real small and going, can you get the sauces that they forgot? Please.
I'm just a baby.
I'm a little baby. I can't get my sauces.
Oh my God. So she's 19 now and she's still even more. She wants to be provocative. She wants to buck the system and show how different she is, especially now that she's really cemented in this like pop space, like, and
Yeah.
it's blown up in a way that they never could have predicted. So now she's really knee deep in it. Um, they say the limousine pulls into the parking lot of Canadian music video network Much Music. The driver opens the door, and the sound of Black Rob rapping "Whoa" bursts out of the doors, followed by the pop star, a teeny blonde in baggy army green pants. She like really wanted them to know she knew the lyrics to "Whoa" by Black Rob. Like she really needed them to know that
Oh
that's
yeah.
real for her. Uh, she
She's
walks.
setting the stage for the next article.
That's what I thought. I was like, this is crazy. She doesn't even know she's setting she's setting the stage.
She doesn't know that 20 years later, 25 years later, two podcasters are going to line these up year by year. Be like, look,
It's like, baby, you're gonna have a black scent next year, mama.
Mama, you don't even know.
Not yet, honey. She walks at the head of a growing entourage to her dressing room and slips into a black baby t-shirt that halts just below her solar plexus, exposing a navel that wouldn't look out of place on the label of a Gerber baby food jar. Written in silver on the front of the shirt are the words, "I love Playboy." Dear reader, meet Christina Aguilera. She's 19 now, almost 20, and she says that she's sick and tired of being treated like a child. I wasn't sure if I should wear the Playboy shirt, she admits after the Much Music show. It's suggestive in a way. So
Your impression of her is like John Early. It's an impression of John Early doing an impression of Christina Aguilera, I feel.
it's ahead of its time. So me and my stylist discussed it, and I decided I'm 19 years old now, and 19-year-olds are going to wear things like that. Just because I have a certain image, everyone wants me to be this role model, but nobody is perfect, and nobody can live up to that. I'm living my life. She realizes that she's beginning to sound pouty and stops, then looks up wide-eyed, earnestly like an adult. I think my personality is fighting to come out, and that personality is fighting with an image that everyone else has of me. Teeny boppers, your good girl has gone bad, or at least wants to go bad, or perhaps she's always been bad, or maybe it's just been all along, a confusing 9 months. If they only knew what was to come. See, this is what I mean. Like this specific time period is like it's a really unique time to be in her life, to
Yeah.
not know that dirty is coming, but to see that she's there, she's about to get there.
Her tits are wanting to like spring forth, and
Yeah.
she is ready.
Yeah, she wants to pull that G-string up, pull those pants down. Okay. It's like she is like ready to bust out. And I feel like when I did my Dunzo episode about her, I remember like in the timeline of it all, when Lady Marmalade happened, that was like her first time basically doing drag.
Interesting.
And I think it had a major effect. As she was like, oh, I like the hair, I like the glitz, I like the glam, I like the nails. She like became Alyssa Edwards that day.
Wow, she really could have had another life as a drag queen.
Oh my god, she would have destroyed as Baby Jane.
I honestly could see her going out there as a little underground side project where she goes to gay clubs and does drag. Christina.
I could see her at Stonewall right now. I see it in my head.
She threw the first brick. You know that, right?
Yeah, it was hers. The brick was thrown, and then you heard.
She didn't have to throw a brick. Her voice broke the glass, as she hit that E above middle C, and it shattered.
Literally, she said, "Hey, no, money." I also am obsessed with the fact that the interviewer like so again, as I said, this revolves around like her day. It's basically like a press day, and They talk about boys. This is the one where she really gets herself into a lot of trouble. Like, if she had known that this interview would affect the next 25 years of her life.
It's crazy.
Okay. This is like long, so we'll take breaks in between. But she says so much shit that you can't pass up. Okay. So it says, as she gazes out the window of the van, it dawns on her that she might miss the East Coast. Ooh, she coos. I want a New York boy.
Mm.
There's so much energy here. And what exactly is a New York boy? A little roughneck. She smiles wickedly. Why was she never in an erotic thriller? She should have been in like a Basic Instinct remake or something.
Also, I just realized this is a girl who, at this point in time, is learning to base her adult personality off of Sex in the City. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
The city, I love it.
And can you blame her? I mean, weren't we all?
Well, I mean, I can't say a word about it. Like, my whole personality.
Hello. I started smoking because of it and did it for like 20 years, so I can't say anything. She smiles wickedly with the bandanas and the cap to the side. You're not going to meet boys like that in LA. She kicks her legs into the air and they fall crossed and tangled into the back of the seat in front of her. The t-shirt she wears is black, exposing her navel, and reads in letters across her chest, Rockstar. She opens a copy of her Music Insider magazine, Hits, and begins leafing through it. She stops at a full-color, full-page photograph of DMX. She exclaims, he's hot. It sometimes seems like Christina uses magazine interviews as dating services. Many of the guys that she mentions as being cute, Fred Durst, Eminem, Enrique Iglesias, Carson Daly, she's later been linked to. Do they get in touch with her after reading that she had a crush on them? No, she chirps. We end up seeing each other at parties and whatnot. I've actually hooked up with a couple of times just for fun, but I haven't seriously dated any celebrity yet. Like, she's like, I'm not a virgin and I don't have to lie about it. She loves to like taunt. She's taunting the girls, and it's like, she said it's like high school it's like high school all over again. Eminem decided to spread lies or half-truths, you decide, about Aguilera's sex life in his latest single, rapping, shit, Christina Aguilera better switch me chairs so I can sit next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst and hear him argue over who she gave head to first. I should download her audio on MP3 and show the whole world how you gave Eminem VD.
You should have rapped that, personally, in my opinion.
I thought about it.
It was like a game time decision, and you're like, no.
Yeah, male voice. Too many things went through my head. You know what I mean? Middle school bullying.
Sure.
Then they do this Q&A. They go back and forth, and they ask her about Eminem. They ask her about Fred Durst. They ask her about Carson. This portion of this interview literally like destroyed her life. Like, it really fucked her up for a long time, to the point that I think it was like, what, a year ago? She was like, this is still going on. Like, Eminem, they're still going back and forth.
Really?
Yes, Dara. It's still happening because of this.
He is such a maniac.
He's psychotic, and he only fights with women. He literally only fights with like divas. It's the weirdest fucking thing to me.
It's a little, there's a pathology there.
Yeah.
Why? Because at first blush, you would go, oh, he just like hates women. But the fact that it is specific women, extremely talented women who are doing something that like he could never touch, is there some kind of like jealousy there?
I think that there's something about, because like, and I'll it's in the quote that I'm about to read, but I think that there's something about when a woman can see through him. Like, Christina clocks him, and like her read of him is 100% accurate. Like, she clocks him, and I think it's like, that is something that really, you know, and it makes him like go crazy and hit below the belt and like I mean to go so extreme that you like create a Christina blow up doll and like he's just so insecure,
Yeah.
you know? Um but they ask her about Eminem and she says, Eminem, man, that's crazy. She said how like one comment can make somebody angry. And they said, you mean your comment on MTV? And she says, what happened was I was asked, do you still have a crush on Eminem? And I said, he's cute and everything, but he's got too many girls after him. Besides, he's married. So I'm not going to stay away. I'm going to stay away from that. It wasn't a diss at all. And if you're going to be that, now, mind you, it's, year 2000, was it 99, 2000? Okay, we're still doing the R word thing. You know what I mean?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
She said
I think we're a little bit past the R word being thrown around, but
I think it was regional. It was regional, depending on where you were from. Honestly, it really was.
oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You think that?
Yeah, I think it was like some parts of the country were fucking really going crazy with the hard R, and then some places it was like more taboo.
I'll tell you, New Hampshire, they were okay with it over there.
Yeah,
I can only report
up
from the front lines of New Hampshire.
Y'all was turning up. I figured. She said, if you're going to be that R word to think that it's a diss, then you know I'm not apologizing for anything. And then they ask her if there was another reason, and she says no. He's like trying to bait her into being like, well, this is the actual reason. And he goes, yes, there is. It's because on MTV you cited him for saying his lyrics about revenge on his mother and his child, like him killing his mom or whatever. And she said, oh, right. She said, I probably said that song 97 Bonnie and Clyde is disgusting. You know what I mean? Jeez, slicing up your baby's mama and stuffing her in a trunk and shoving her in the ocean with your daughter watching. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. But I think the majority of the world thinks that's disgusting. And I think it was really wrong for him to diss me like that. Because all this past year, I've been very positive in recognizing his talent. And I will say, I watched the MTV special. They did like a MTV's Day with Christina Aguilera where she did like a countdown of all of her favorite songs and they did the videos and she like sat in a room with her friends and just talked about music. And she says, like, I have a responsibility to young girls and I would never tell girls that are listening to my music that it's okay to date a guy like Eminem.
Sorry, I fucking love her.
Sorry.
I love that girl.
Like, I mean, how can you,
he is such a fucking loser, Eminem.
I know.
Like, there's nothing I hate more than someone who can dish it but can't take it.
I know.
Like, you're so friggin' precious that you can say whatever you want about people, diss whoever you want, and when someone's like, I do think that domestic violence is wrong, and you're like, fuck you, no. Like, get a life, you tiny, tiny little man. Ugh.
And of course he has to be like the classic, like, well, you're a slut and all of us have fucked you and like all of us boys talk about you. We've passed you around. It's like, whatever makes you feel like you're taller than 6 foot, whatever makes you feel like you're not a tiny little man who has to compensate for being a white rapper, whatever makes you feel better about yourself, sir.
It's just so, God, ugh, it drives me insane. Straight men are really grating on me these days, so just like hitting hard.
Well, then they ask her about Fred Durst. They tell her that they say Fred was supposedly talking about you on somebody's answering machine. Is that real? And she says, it's a whole complicated thing that messes with your head. Fred is crazy. Fred, man, how dumb are you if you're trying to get with somebody and then you are going to appear in a video that flat out disses them? You know what I mean? Fred and I were actually being cool with each other. He took me out one time and bought me a milkshake. He was just like, I know this bomb ass place for milkshakes. And after we left the club, he was so cool. And then I started hearing all this stuff and I was tired of it. I was like, something is up. He's being really shady. He flat out told me before the video came out that he was in it. And then they said, well, did you know what it was about? And she said, I hadn't heard much about it, but I knew that he was talking all this bull about me. But he really did tell Eminem that. None of it is true. Seriously, I haven't spent, quote, quality time with either of those guys. And she says, I'm always biting my tongue because I can get kind of provocative. She admits as she sits cross-legged on the floor in a back room after the press conference, having just zoned out while staring into a fireplace. It's fun to be provocative sometimes, to stir things up and get reactions and be playful, but sometimes that can get me into trouble.
The tabloids have had their fun with Christina lately, catching her dirty dancing with Enrique Iglesias or at a strip club with Carson Daly and a couple of boy band boys. Quote, "It's such a double standard when it comes to the boys and the girls," she complains, worked up over a recent newspaper story criticizing her. They totally overlook the fact that the Backstreet Boys cuss during their interviews, go to strip clubs all the time, and do normal things for their age. It's not a diss to them, but it's so unfair.
Did you recall the Carson strip club story? Do you remember that back in the day?
I do. I do. I don't know. I don't remember the details, but I remember that being kind of like I think it stuck out to me because at that young age, because I was like, girls can go to strip clubs?
Yeah, that was the whole thing. That was like, oh my God, she's a girl.
I was like, okay, well, that opens up a world of possibilities. Okay.
You're like, and they have wings? What? Boneless too?
Whoa, wow. I can't wait to be an adult.
It was like a young girl at a strip club enjoying it. Like, it's really sad that we couldn't just let the girls, like the way that people embrace messiness from,
I know.
It's just it was so unnecessary and boring and like sanitized and conservative. And it was just so like, it was so Hank Hill vibes.
Do you think the grown-up pop girlies look at the new class of girls today and just feel utter jealousy? Like almost borderline resentment?
Yeah, I really do. I can't even imagine. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to watch Christina Aguilera like watch Charlie XCX.
Yeah. Oh God, you're so right.
Because what is the difference in what Charlie is doing versus what Christina was trying to do in 2002? Like, it's so crazy. I mean, Charlie writes music about doing cocaine and like does it openly at her shows. Like, and we're like, yeah, it's crazy.
One more bump.
Yeah.
One more bump.
Give her another bump. Give her another bump. It must be like, God, like, and I couldn't even have a fucking nipple ring without people writing 20 million articles about it.
God, I feel so bad for young women. It's too much.
It really is. I don't know how you girls do it. I guess speaking of nipple rings.
Shall we?
Shall we? So we jump to 2002. This article was written by Chris Heath. And obviously this is the transition to Xtina. She just recorded Stripped. She had this like very famously intimate recording session with Linda Perry, and they're milking that. They're doing the whole thing. In the interview, Christina, the same day, filmed her MTV diary.
Oh, I love it. I love that one. That was a big one.
It's a really good one. It made me a little emotional. I was like, God. I'm like, this time was just so special. Like, because she says, oh no, you go, go.
Well, I was just going to say, before we really dive in, did we mention yet that this article is scrubbed from the internet?
Talk about that. Talk about it.
So Troy had to go digging around the annals of the internet to find this because the other two are just right up there on Rolling Stone. But this third article you go on Rolling Stone and they simply have an excerpt. And then it says, oh, if you want to read the whole story, click here. It's clearly an old page, and the click here to the article no longer exists. And it doesn't exist anywhere. And meanwhile, this is the story from her most famous Rolling Stone cover, where she's on the bed with the guitar, tit covered with her hand. And the accompanying article is nowhere. And when you read the article, it's like, okay, I see why. But yes, Troy had to root around in like Christina fan pages to find this.
I found it on like an Angel Fire, like truly, like I really found it on like an old Christina message board. They had the full thing.
And of course, we will be linking that in the episode description.
Yeah, shout out to that girl who's now like a 40-something-year-old woman with children. Shout out to her, whoever she is, that was created that WordPress site that I found.
You're preserving history, mama.
It's so, but it doesn't paint her in the best light. I guess it's like, if you already know her, like if you're one of us and you grew up with her, none of it is like shocking. Like none of it is like off brand, but in modern times, this is crazy.
Oh yeah. I said to myself as I was reading it, I can't believe we once lived in a world where Christina Aguilera could walk around in a do-rag. We lived in that world.
I can't even talk about this without thinking about Wendy Williams talking about when she met Black Christina, and she said,
yes.
And she says, who chair is this? And Wendy's like, excuse me? And she's like, and she goes, I'm Wendy Williams, how are you? And she goes, I'm I.
She was like, what's up? I was like, how are you doing? She said, is this my seat? I was like,
what were we doing out here?
Oh my God, I'm crying. Okay.
Oh, also, I find it really interesting that each article, there's a different person profiling her. And I would have given anything if Neil Strauss did this one too.
Oh, me too.
Like what his take would be of this 2-year evolution.
Oh my God. To be like, whoa, like you are talking very different than when I saw you just a few...
I feel like her people were like, Neil cannot do it. Yeah. And Rolling Stone's like, why? He did such a great job on the last one. No, we need a fresh set of eyes.
I love also there's a through line in this article where she's basically Dorit. Like she's like always late and holding up everybody, and they always talk about it. And it's like the inside joke. He's always like, we showed up here and Christina was late. Or like, we went here and guess what? Christina Aguilera was late. And she tells him that she doesn't like to drive because of lawsuits and things like that. And then she just trails off and doesn't even really complete her statement about it. He's like, whatever. He doesn't even probe her. He's like, I don't even care anymore. But this is great. This is like a really fun opening. They say after an hour and a half, she arrives. The photos now has just done her stripped photo shoot and she's approving her album cover. Crazy. So they say the photos under consideration for Strip's front cover show her topless, her hair extensions flailing in front of her breasts, just enough for decency. She studies some shots. She puts one hand on one picture, covering her face with her other hand. She covers the pictures from the waist down. My stomach looks really good in this one, she says. It's just so curvy. The designer, Jerry, she's like, I'm so hot.
I'm so beautiful. She's giving Jennifer Lopez right now.
Men love my curves. I love my curves.
My curves.
Women hate me. They want to be me. The designer, Jerry, argues against a close-up that Aguilera likes. It makes your head look too small. I like the expression on that. Aguilera counters. It makes me look a little tormented, like I'm thinking about something. Aguilera rejects a shot that Jenny favors. I just don't think it looks like me, she says. It looks like I'm an opera singer or something. But it's very pretty, comments Jerry. Yeah, says Aguilera. I don't like pretty. Fuck pretty. Yeah. Yeah. As most people have already noticed, that the Christina Aguilera who appeared in 1999 singing Genie in a Bottle, the one presented as the latest shiny-eyed, blonde-haired, innocently flirty, nicely behaved, demurely and deniably coquettish teen pop songstress, she no longer exists. On the day we first talk, when she says that she's dressing down, her hair is partly covered by a do-rag with a pony baseball cap perched on it, and she's wearing a pink pajama top with the word gotcha on it, and a pair of combat pants hanging open several inches at the front to reveal much of her underwear, which says skimpies. It's not like a thong, she comments. This is boys' underwear. It's comfortable shit. On her left arm, on her left arm, just above her elbow, she's wearing an armband that says 69. I think it's funny, she says. I don't wear long floral skirts down to my ankles, she says. This is just me, I guess. Recently, her clothing choices have been much remarked upon. Columnist Liz Smith has averred that both she and Britney Spears had come to August MTV Video Music Awards in hooker get-ups. Yeah, I heard something about that, Aguilera says. Who cares what we wore to a damn award show? It's the VMAs. I was happy with my outfit, and I'd wear it again. Reading about it afterwards, I say was the first time I'd seen the term under cleavage. Oh yeah, I was giving reverse cleavage, she says. Shoo, I was up there doing my thing, and it felt comfortable. It was just a bit of clothing. If I was in a back alley at midnight wearing a getup like that, I could see, yes, that's a little bit hookerish, but I'm at a damn award show. I'm an entertainer. I'm playing the part. I don't go out to clubs like that at all. That's the only time I dress up like that, hookerish or whatever. You guys, that's just one paragraph. Can you imagine?
Guys, this is truly an article that is like line by line. We could do a reading
It
of
is.
just like a full David Foster Wallace annotated each line.
I was doing my thing. And I just think about all of the people who were like encountering her at this time, and like the interactions we'll never know about where she was just on one.
It's also really funny that she's so anti like teen pop machine, but meanwhile she's doing this act that like all the teen poppy boys are doing at this time
Right.
period. You seem like you would be above this.
Yes. And she, in her mind, she is like, in her
Yeah.
mind, this is not a pop release. This is not a pop album. She is no longer in the pop space. Yet she's on TRL, the very place she was just a year prior, doing the exact thing. It's just so silly.
I will say this sort of masculine dressing and everything, is this her traipsing around Linda Perry like, hello, I'm a little bit butch too, mama. Ooh.
Dara, of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course. She's like, I'm hot as fuck. My body right now is sick. Like, I have my nipples pierced. I got my belly button pierced.
She's got her clit pierced.
She's got her clit pierced. Like,
oh wait, let me send you. I did find I found a couple pictures from this spread, and check this out. They have a diagram of everywhere she's pierced.
I saw this. I'm so happy that you saw this.
Isn't it great? And she talked about in the article how she thinks that she's really into piercings because her grandmother, when they were living with her grandmother, she said that she would make them both move out if Christina got her ears pierced and then they ended up doing it anyway. And she's like, I think piercing is an act of rebellion for me. It gives me a release.
Oh God. She's like, I find it erotic. I climax each one. They say Aguilera, she has 5 in her ears, 1 each in her nose, her lower lip, her right nipple, 1 below the belt. That leaves 2 unaccounted for.
I'm surprised
Wow.
she only got 1 nipple. To me, that's a little bit like, do you really get a release or did it hurt too much to get that second one done?
Wasn't that a trend though in that time to get 1 nipple? Wasn't that a
I
thing,
guess
like 1 earring?
it could have, yeah. I was flirty with the idea of some nipple piercings for a while, but then
Yeah.
I realized I am too old for that.
My roommate had her nipple pierced, and I was always just so, I don't know, the whole of it all. Like, it looks so cool. I love it with a t-shirt, like
Oh
a
my
braless
God.
moment with a nipple
That was like the
Ooh!
whole reason why I wanted it, is for the
Yeah.
braless t-shirt look.
Yeah, it's fucking hot. I still love it. But then it's like, you just got a hole in your nipple.
Well, and here's the other thing, and this is what ultimately turned me off from it. And granted, I just probably never would have done it because it'd be like, ow.
Yeah.
But um I've recently heard from Nicole Richie. She did some interview and she mentioned this, that her dermatologist told her that the worst thing that a woman can do is sleep in her earrings because it pulls the skin while
Oh,
you
okay.
sleep. And then I thought, wait a second. Imagine what they do to ye old nippies. So
Because
I
the
said,
hole
never
go
mind.
away, right? It's like, it
Well,
doesn't like to close.
but it will pull the
No, but
weight
like,
of it.
if you don't like, if does Nicole Richie still have like a hole, you think, where her nipple ring was? It's just like a gaping hole.
Well,
Like it like is like
she was just talking about her earrings, and I was just equating it to if earrings pull your earlobes down
like
and
imagine, yeah.
imagine what they do to your nip nips.
Oh, see, I can't. It's just too sensitive of a spot. Like I just can't.
Like I wouldn't want
Oh,
my nipples to be pointing forward.
no. Well, then you have like gauges on your nipple.
But I just
Oh,
really want to wear little bras with a t-shirt, but it'll never happen.
it's so chic. Like it is.
I
I just think
know.
it's like the coolest.
That's
And
why
some
you
of
have
my
to get it when
favorite,
you're in your 20s because you don't have
yeah,
to worry about that, but
right.
not in your 30s.
Some of my favorite Christina looks are when she like her old streetwear looks from this time, where she would just wear like a crop top with no bra, and
Mm,
like her nipple ring was like a part of the moment, and I just thought that that was so
so cool.
so cool. Like, um, I have to ask you about the Scott Storch of it all.
Mm.
Where are you on Scott Storch? Familiar, unfamiliar?
Um, I am familiar, but when I got to his name, I was like, oh yeah, what's his deal? Because I feel like I'm not good with the keeping straight all the producers and people like that,
The
to be
drug
honest.
addict
Yeah.
producers of the time, yeah,
Yeah.
they all kind of
Yeah.
blur together. So Scott Storch is one of my like neurodivergent like obsessions. Like he's like a weird like Rubik's cube that I
Perfect.
am obsessed with. I don't even know why, but I just am obsessed with learning stuff about him. So he is a music prodigy. He was in The Roots, an original member,
Okay.
and he is a piano prodigy. So he's never been taught how to play piano, but he can like literally play like Mozart and Beethoven with no training or anything. Like he's just like a
I'm so fascinated by people like that.
me too. And then to be like a dummy, like he's like also a coke idiot, dumb ass, loser, LA trash guy who like, for a long time he was like working with Beyonce, working with Jay-Z, working with like all of these, Lil Kim in the 2000s and the 90s and stuff. He was like prestige. And then he started blowing all of his money on cocaine, and he was buying, I think he said he was spending like $1 million a year on coke. He blew all of his money, and at the height of his drug addiction, he started giving his music away to random
Oh,
people.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
So Paris was able to like make a full album with him during that time when he was just giving songs to people that would be,
Okay.
you
Yes.
know.
The parasol. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. 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 Yes.
So Christina, so that was years later. That was like 07. This is like 2001, 2002. And Christina has like basically him and Linda Perry are like making this album with her. And it's crazy. So there's this whole moment. I'll read it. There's this whole section about Scott Storch. And what's crazy about this is that, I mean, I believe that every female artist he hooks up with, he like fucks. Like, I think that that's like a thing. And then the next album, she writes a song called Fuck You, Scott Storch. It is literally called Fuck You, Scott Storch.
I remember this. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So to hear there about in this article, it's like the exact moment that they're still friends and they're in the studio together, but you can they have a moment and you can see like this relationship's
Another
not going to end well.
squirrel. Yeah.
Yeah. So they say at Enterprise Studios she meets Scott Storch, who co-wrote and produced much of Stripped, and who, though he mutters, "No one knows who I am," is one of the key collaborators on some of Dr. Dre's best records. She has come to hear what she hopes will be the final mix of Keep On Singing My Song, the ballad scheduled to close her album. He puts on his new mix. Been feeling like nothing's going my way lately, she sings sadly from the studio speakers. Halfway through, when the drums come in, Aguilera shakes her head. Before it had that energy that was kind of off, she says. It was more like Stevie Wonder. That is so on the beat. And she picks apart the details one by one, explaining that she wants or what she thinks is missing. I want that big note to be crazy washed out. Do that sparkly magic reverb. It doesn't sound soulful. It sounds plasticky. It's lost some of its stripped down magic. Storch makes his case quietly. Often he tries to argue that what she thinks has changed has not changed at all. He defends one alteration by saying that part of the original was a mistake, but she jumps right in. Well, it was a good mistake. Scott, I think that you did a really great job. I really do. The song means a lot to me. It just sounds a lot better, he says. Yeah, but you weren't in love with this song like I've been in love with this song, she says. She begins to get annoyed. She says, fuck, I hate people who are like that. You're just pissed because I don't like what you did. I just want to make sure that this song isn't overproduced. Before, it sounded like you and I just did it in a room. Now it sounds like you gave me the track to sing over. Storch looks increasingly uncomfortable and eventually he leaves the room. I feel really bad, she says to Allison, and I don't want to upset him, but this is the best part. But it had a kind of imperfection that really worked for me. It was almost like he turned it into a Diane Warney perfect rather than emote type of shit. After a while, she says, shall we go talk, Scott? She finds him in the corridor, walks up to him and gives him a hug. They go back into the studio. They open bottles of Corona and clink them together. And he goes, do you want a toast? Lover's quarrel.
Lover's quarrel. Oh, and speaking of toast, the beginning of the article, I think it's the beginning where they talk about how Christina and her friend go into the back room of a club because Christina's really upset and the friend takes her back there and is like, throw your champagne glass. And they end up breaking 2 cases worth of champagne glasses.
That is such a wild thing to do. And it is a crazy way to open the article too, to be like, this is the new Christina Aguilera. Like, she's angry, she's pissed off, she's a lot to say, and like she doesn't know how to get it out.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely obsessed. And I just love the idea also that like she's having these like emotional, not affairs, but just like these like tawdry recording sessions with Linda Perry and with Scott Storch. It's crazy.
Oh, the Linda Perry part where she traipses in.
Oh my God.
I love that part. They're at Houston's first. Once the artichoke dip arrived, Aguilera perks up. I've got really bad cuts and bruises on my legs, she announces, and pulls up her pants high above her left knee to show me a quite gigantic, irregularly shaped bruise that she says she got on the video. She says she had to box 8 rounds. After she's eaten, on the way to the studio, she listens to Peaches "Fuck the Pain Away." And I won't try and do an impression here. She says, quote, "Crazy ass," she shouts, walking into the control room. "Did you miss me?" "I sure did," says Linda Perry. She asks Perry why she didn't make it down to her video shoot, and Perry says that she was busy. "Yeah, whatever. You don't like me," says Aguilera. Then she asks for a massage. "Linda, please, please, please," she beseeches. "No, I ain't doing that," says Perry. "You're so good at it," pleads Aguilera. She shows Perry her bruise. "Oh my God," says Perry. "What happened? What could you have been doing?" "You should have seen the shower scene," says Allison. "What were you doing?" Perry asks. "Humping a girl," Aguilera replies. "Humping a girl," says Perry. "5 girls," corrects Aguilera. "I didn't get that invite," says Perry. Suddenly, the pleasantries are over. They listen to a new mix of a song called "I'm Okay." Aguilera says nothing. In fact, she barely moves. So...
she's giving like little toxic twink energy. She's a little,
It
you know what I mean?
It is so young, like youthful sexuality of like,
Mm-hmm.
"Can you give me a massage?" Oh my God. You should have seen me. Like, look at this bruise. That is so early 20s. And then I was humping girls to the lesbian.
And I love that Linda's such an old, like leathered, weathered lesbian. She's like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking humping you, girl."
I'm not. I was in the Four Non Blondes. Do you think I'm doing this with you right now, honey?
Girl, you think you're my first rodeo, baby? No. Like,
No.
I'm obsessed. But this leads me to a theory that I want to run by you.
Please.
Because I believe that the Linda Perry, Christina Aguilera, Pink of it all,
yeah,
is actually some lesbian type shit. Like, I think that it's just a big lover's quarrel.
100. Well, and to back up to explain to people who maybe don't know, Linda Perry, who is she? I think she's still married to Dara Laine, right?
Mm-hmm.
She started in Four Non Blondes, lesbian, married to Dara Laine from Roseanne, Melissa Gilbert. Originally was working with Pink, and then Pink and Christina had a feud. And then when Linda starts working with Christina, Pink stops working with Linda because she feels betrayed. And as you say, Mr. Troy Boy, that is DD. That's a double D. And you know what the first D stands for?
It's girls having... This is my favorite thing about Hollywood, is that like this can be happening and it can be such a clear, like, just gay issue. Like, it's so clearly some gay shit, but then they can spin it to be like something so stupid. Like, why would Pink care otherwise? Like, why the fuck would she care? Now, I will say I can understand a world where Pink is like, those are songs that you should have like done with me, or those are projects that we should have done together, kind of thing. I get that.
Sure.
But this is emotion. This is messy, and I'm obsessed. And I need Ryan Murphy to make some dramatized version of this starring Emma Roberts.
Well, and that part of the article then got me thinking about 2010 when Christina and her husband divorced, and the rumors or the tabloids are saying that he dumped her because of lesbian activity.
Yeah.
And then after she's seen running around with Samantha Ronson. And a part of that was also, so she goes right before the divorce, I think, or right before it's announced or something. She goes on a trip to Cabo with Samantha and Nicole Richie.
Mhm.
And that got me thinking of Nicole Richie. And I never thought about her, like, I think of everyone as gay.
Right.
Classically, I think everyone is gay and autistic.
Yeah,
And
you do. But like you literally do
I
think
literally
that.
do. Yeah. I literally do. So don't come at me because I'm not being flippant. I literally believe.
Yeah.
But I never thought of Nicole in any way that way. Like alarm bells never went off. And then I was like, wait, do you think there's anything there with Nicole?
See, I don't. I
I
really
don't
don't.
either.
I really think that Nicole just has such cool energy that she attracts queer people.
Yeah, she has, because the thing is she has cool energy, but she doesn't have bi energy.
No,
Like
not
I
at
never,
all.
like even though she was, because I thought, okay, well, but she's like friends with Samantha Ronson and she was best friends with Paris. Like that is, but then I go, I don't know. I just don't see it.
But then I also think that Nicole is like a fluid person. Like I could see myself, I could see Nicole always being like, I am not like, I don't put labels on myself. Like I've hooked up with girls,
Like a Katie Maloney.
Yeah. Yes. Music kills Nicole. No, but Christina has extreme bi energy. And I think this about male celebrities. I think this about rappers a lot too, but like specifically with women, I think a lot of like the feuds and the cat fights and all the stuff that we've been reading about our whole lives, a lot of it is just gay shit. Like I think that Britney and
Yeah.
Christina was gay shit. I think that Britney was hooking up with Paris. I think that Lindsay was hooking up with Paris. I think Paris is the nucleus of the closeted lesbian. Like
It's like her and Courtney Semmel.
yeah, no, like literally. And Tara Reid just being like, whoa, 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 like not knowing like where to turn. But I think it's all lovers' quarrels, and I think that I mean, I'm sure at this point everybody's probably seen it, but there's an interview clip where Britney is asked about Christina and she says like I hadn't seen her in years and she walked up to me and stuck her tongue down my throat.
Yes.
It's like Christina is a bisexual monster. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Her bisexuality is a weapon more so than anything. Christina's bisexuality is the way that they depicted it in like erotic thrillers in the 90s where it's like they can't be trusted, they're too erotic, and they're and they're sneaky.
They're sneaky and insatiable. And they're short. They're scurrying around into your house at night and stealing your wives.
Literally Sharon Stone's girlfriend in Basic Instinct is who Christina Aguilera is. Like she is, which speaking of, I just have to read the last little section of that back and forth. She says, in the corridor, Aguilera says to Perry that she told MTV about their ping pong matches earlier today. And she says that I won. And Christina goes, that I won. And she goes, well, I guess you're the star, says Perry. So they're going to believe you. I'm a nobody. Incidentally, this is not Aguilera's first ping pong rivalry. In her Mickey Mouse Club days, whenever the older kids weren't hogging the table, she would face off against Britney. We used to play all the time, says Aguilera. I think we did get a bit competitive where that one was concerned. That's the only time I'll admit to any competitiveness. It'd be funny to see us play now. Shoo. I'd take her on any day. It'd be fun. I feel like this is a buffet of
It
quotes.
is.
It is just, I can't get enough.
But an interesting continuation of the Britney stuff from the previous article, where I thought it was Neil Strauss says that he gets a sense that the sort of feud of Britney and Christina is overblown in the press, and it's more like a sibling
Oh,
rivalry
right.
that it's not that they hate each other, it's like a sibling rivalry. And then Christina tells him about this dream that she had where basically in the dream there's two princesses and she's one of them, and they're in a castle and they try to escape, and the king like sends some goons and beats them to death. And Neil at first is like, that must be like a representing her childhood and like her and her little sister. But then her mom, Shelley, she says, oh, I actually think that it's not her sister, it's Brittany. It's her and Brittany, and like they're sort of sisterly comeuppance together, growing up in the same world, and the like big king is what they've been through together.
That was really, that like had me emotional. I was like,
Me
damn, that's like
too.
really crazy to think of it that way.
It really, and I'm sure it's different now, but at that time, before all like, life gets in the way and their careers evolve and everything, at that point, I never thought that they like really hated each other,
No.
because
No,
they did really grow up together.
they really did, and I think that they it's just one of those things where they were just so opposite, like they sort of possess what the other one wished that they had a little more of.
Yeah,
And I do also think that there's like a, obviously I have a bias.
of course,
Of
of course.
course. And I think that Christina, as we have learned through these interviews, she has a little bit of that like pick me thing where she's like, I need to
Yeah,
be seen. And it's like, I think that she had a lot of resentment towards the fact that like she views herself as this like once in a lifetime artist, which she is.
yeah,
And like she feels like she can pick apart Britney's talent in like 5 seconds. And how dare the world even think that what I do is anything similar to her. It's very sisterly.
yeah. And I think also sisterly in the sense of, I imagine she looks at her and goes, why did you get this level of stardom when I have this
Right.
talent? But Brittany, who is also this person that she probably looks down on in terms of how she expresses herself. Like,
Mhm.
she is so committed to being herself and, being honest and taking no prisoners and giving no fucks. And
Yeah.
Brittany is, very much a people pleaser. And I'm sure
Yep.
that is probably like, it's both disgusting to her and like maybe
Yes.
also at a time, maybe she had more compassion for it or something. But like you could see Christina protecting Brittany in the schoolyard if someone's like
Oh god,
making fun
yeah.
of her, like you could see
Totally.
that aspect, but then you can see how as time goes on, how she would be like resentful and like find that very unattractive in her.
To be honest, I think the way that Christina resented Britney was similar to how the resentment the world had for her, which is that you are doing these things behind the scenes. You are
Mhm.
cursing, you are having sex, you are
Yeah.
drinking, you're experimenting, you're partying, you're going out, you're making out with women, you're hooking up with girls, you're fucking, like, you're doing all the same things that I do, but I'm being called like a different kind of whore than you're being called. Like, we're both being called sluts, but the kind of slut that you are is not the kind of slut. Like, I'm a Bratz doll slut where you're like a Barbie slut. And like, why am I this different kind of slut than you are? Like, why am I so
Yeah.
much lower than you? Because I'm like not good at pretending to not do the things that we both do. I think that, you know, and then Brittany being resentful of the fact that Christina could live so freely and live out loud and say
Yeah.
anything and be provocative and talk about hooking up with guys and women and getting piercings, and then Brittany has like a glass of wine publicly and they're like, she's off the rails.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's a feud that I think is so complex and so layered and so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's why we still talk about it so many years later.
Basically, it's Christina is Mary and Britney
Yeah.
is Janelle, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Brittany being compared to Janelle is like so fucking funny. I cannot. Can we? I know that we've been talking for 7 hours.
Literally.
Like, you guys are really being overfed this week, but can we end by talking about the Millennium Dance Studio moment with the dancers?
Oh my God, yes.
You
That
brought it
was
up
really
earlier.
yes, that was great.
So Christina is auditioning dancers for the Dirty video, and they are at Millennium Dance Complex. If those walls could talk at Millennium Dance Studio, oh, the
And
things that room has
I've
seen.
seen.
So they say in a large featureless room at Millennium Dance Complex, 100 or so dancers await their chance. She keeps complaining that they're not dancing dirty and hard enough, and that the girls are being too feminine. It's all about stank, she says. This is a stank video. While the fourth group of men is lining up, Aguilera leans over and gestures discreetly at one of the dancers, who at the same time is glancing over at her. That's my ex-boyfriend, she says. You make him audition? I sputter. She grins. Hell yeah. After 2 rounds of auditions, he is still on the final shortlist. Eventually, he will make the video. In the car, Aguilera and Allison discuss what they have seen. Some of these guys are really cute, Aguilera says. I thought that white girl was a really good freestyler, says Allison. Yeah, says Aguilera. I guess we have to have one white person, right? George Santos and Aguilera started out as friends, and he'd been dancing with her for months before they got together. Was he literally your first love? Yes, but before that, I always loved to hear love stories of it working out. But for me, I was so focused on my career and I looked at it like, gushy girls, she's weak, she's vulnerable. But in the end, when I let myself go a little bit, it was the most beautiful thing to want to do things for someone else. He was my first real experience sexually. I mean, you can fool around, there's bases and all that, but that was the first time. He was my first everything. And then they're like, it must have been weird for your first love to be someone who you employed. And I love this. She says, yeah, that was more weird for him than me, because he was
That was a him problem.
because he was very independent, Puerto Rican, headstrong, do for myself kind of guy. So it was hard for him that his girlfriend was paying his way, and that it was my house and my cook and my things and things like that.
Sure. Yeah. I get it.
This girl is just, I live for her.
She doesn't get the credit for being such a character. Character's welcome, baby.
She really doesn't. And she doesn't get credit for being such a truly, and I really actually mean this, I'm not even being sarcastic, just like intellectually, she was such a good role model. Like, actually looking
Yeah.
back, like, she was so important to have that voice in young girls' ears with all the noise around and like all of the crazy messaging. Like, what she was saying always consistently was like good.
You're so right. And God, the amount of mixtape CDs with the song Beautiful on it that were traded amongst young girls
Oh my
going
God.
through puberty. Like, you know, it spoke to us.
Before we end, what's your favorite Christina Aguilera song? Do you have one?
I think it might be Come On Over, Baby.
I love Come On Over. I love
Come
that
On
fucking
Over.
song.
Though I will say, I am not someone who can like look back in my brain and go, oh, I remember exactly where I was when I heard that song. But Genie in a Bottle, I remember the moment I heard it on the radio, and it was like in the middle of the night, and I was playing it. I was playing the radio on my boombox,
Of course.
and that song came on, and I didn't even know who Christina Aguilera was. And I heard the song, and I was like, "What is this?"
I
I was
mean,
just taken.
what a moment that song was, and like for it to be such a, I don't know, like for it to be like it's like you had Baby One More Time and then you had Genie in a Bottle, and they were both songs that were like about weird things, like,
Yeah.
you know, like Genie in a Bottle, when you really break those lyrics down and like you really like are like conscious of what she's saying, like that she's like not gonna fuck this guy, but the hormones are making her want to, and like it's crazy. It's a crazy song.
It really is. It's a good one. What about you? What's your fave?
I really love The Voice Within.
Interesting.
I love that song, and I love that video. I love that David LaChapelle moment.
Oh
that
yeah,
black and white.
that is a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one. People don't talk about that one.
No, they don't. I love, this is a deep cut, but I love Love for All Seasons from her like first
I
album.
love for all time.
Oh, talk about like some 90s R&B.
Oh, that's yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna have to listen to that album when I'm done.
Can I end the episode with the quote of her just randomly giving Jennifer Love Hewitt shade for no reason?
Yes, but then I have a letter to the editor.
Oh, this episode is jam-packed.
Packed, baby.
Okay. I would say that if you guys are into reading the articles, like these are really great ones to read. Like we couldn't even get through half of like the amazing quotes, but
Yeah.
this little sentence here, I don't know what she was on this day. It says, one day I find her reading about a Jennifer Love Hewitt slumber party in Rolling Stone. I would scare the shit out of her if I came to her sleepover. Says Aguilera, fuck the dessert. Where's the tequila? She wants a bunch of white boys that I don't want. I want boys with flavor. You never date white boys, Christina? He's gotta have some flavor, some edge to him. I don't discriminate because of color. I actually dated my first one recently. I put some cream in my coffee.
I dated my first one.
She wants a bunch of white boys I don't want. Like, how do you know that?
And this after 2 articles of her being like, I like Fred Durst and Eminem, 2 of the whitest, like arguably borderline skinheads.
No, literally. She's like, I only like Kid Rock. Like, literally? Well, because you dated a Latin guy who ended up being a homosexual. Now you're all of a sudden like the United Nations of dating. It's insane.
That is also such bi energy to have her first love be a homosexual.
I mean, can we talk? Can we talk? We forgot to mention that he ended up being gay, and he was so clearly gay when they dated. I love it.
Oh, God bless her. God bless her, everyone. All right. Well, so our letter to the editors. And of course, if you want to be featured on the show, you can write us a letter to the editor as a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can give us a question, a comment, a critique, whatever. But just give it 5 stars and put like Dear Dara and Troy, so we know that this is specifically a letter that you want to be read on the show. Okay, the headline is Go to Pole Class, Dara. And to preface this is in response to a Patreon episode where we talked about Tracy Anderson and the S Factor workouts, which was pole dancing. And I had mentioned that I'd always wanted to do pole dancing, but I don't have upper body strength and my hands are too sweaty to grip a pole. So So there you go. If that doesn't wet your whistle and really make you wanna
Horny yet?
only on Patreon, baby. Okay.
This is the soft launch for Dara's OnlyFans.
Literally. So it says, go to pole class, Dara. In parentheses, I love that this is a reason that gets me to finally leave a review. Dear Dara and Troy, I love you both and have been listening to you since Deux and Dunzo. You help this teacher get to and from work when I'm stressed and anxious. After listening to your Tracy ep, I need to tell you, Dara, that pole class is not about coming in with strength. You build it as you go. A good instructor will always have modifications for whatever you're starting from with every single position and trick. And they even have grip to put on your sweaty little hands. Or just buy liquid chalk on Amazon. I love pole because it reminds me that even as an adult, I can grow and evolve if I stay consistent and accept that I am not good at something from the beginning. It's basically therapy for my perfectionism. I look forward to hearing your pole escapades in the future, Dara, now that you know it's okay to look stupid in pole class. And that is
makes
from
sense.
Happy Haunts Library. Thank you so much. And I feel very motivated to start going to pole because I too, think it's very important to, as an adult, keep learning and learning new skills and being consistent and getting better at something. I think that's very important for your brain and for your spirit. And listen, I can't get my nipples pierced anymore because I'm too old, but I'm still going to be a hot old slut and get up on that pole at some point.
It makes total sense that when you say the point of the class is to build the strength to be able to do it. You don't go in being like, I'm Demi Moore in striptease and I'm going to take a class about stripping.
Exactly. So I'm going to do it. Troy, I think you should take a class with me. And we can do the Hustler twins. That's also a reference from a Patreon episode.
I will put on my Flirty Girl Fitness shorts. I'll pull them out of retirement and I will slap my hips and get right back on that pole where I belong, where a whore belongs.
It's where we belong, Troy.
Yeah.
It's where we belong.
It's where we belong. Just like Christina Aguilera belonged in Hollywood. She knew it from age 8 when she was singing Billie Holiday, Blue-Eyed Soul. We are just like her.
And we're both little divas, just like her.
Well, this was literally my favorite episode we've ever done. I am
Me too. We
so
have
happy.
been going.
Oh my God, you guys, you're gonna eat on this for days, I hope. Don't eat it all at once in one sitting, okay? You'll get sick. We love you very much. Please subscribe, review, rate, all those things, and follow us on Patreon. We've been doing some really, really fun Patreon episodes. So
we've been doing some really great work over there.
We really have been pushing the needle here at What's Your Issue headquarters.
And you can also watch our episodes on YouTube or ad-free completely on Patreon. So yeah, we love you.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.